YMC, Young Minds Can, Community Coalition. And we are about political empowerment for black people, economic stimulation for black people, and social elevation for black people, right? Because we've been politically oppressed, economically exploited, and socially degraded.
Okay.
So the footage and the content is all just to show us leading by example, like living what we preach, right? So I don't want soul food today. I'm just not in the mood for soul food. I don't want anything that heavy. But as opposed to go to somewhere else that's not black owned, I would rather spend my money, even if it's a sacrifice of me not having what I really want. I'd rather sacrifice a different kind of meal I don't really want to help get a black family richer. Because, right, because black families are...
See, that's the real way to fight. Not burn everyone's buildings down.
No, ho. Sometimes, if an authority is oppressive, you have to revolt.
Yeah, so I'm talking about, like, you know, burning up a business down that person may not have anything to do with it. So my mom works at a Walgreens, so if they were to go burn down a Walgreens and she didn't have a job, I don't know if anyone was hurt. Okay. I'm saying if she didn't have a job tomorrow, just because you guys felt mad that day and decided to burn down Walgreens and nothing changes, I think I'd rather you, instead of do that, let's just all make sure that we get each other richer.
Right. We do have to harness economic power, but you also have to understand, if your mom who works at Walgreens, it couldn't work because the Walgreens are burnt down, that'd be a sacrifice that your mom would have to make.
No,
hold on, bro.
Yeah, but that's not her making the decision. That's people burning it down. I mean, we're just going to have different views.
No. You need to get game, bro. You need to get game. Check it out. In order to improve our situation, there's going to be sacrifices that need to be made, whether it's people's choices or not. It wasn't Freddie Gray's choice to be murdered. It wasn't Eric Garner's choice to be murdered. Hold on one second. Check it out. When you have people revolted not because of one day, one action,
I didn't say that.
Okay, but no, you just said people burn something down because of what happened on one day.
No, I'm saying people are because they were mad that day. Let's say that was the strong. Okay. So what? So you think going to burn down, ruining people's jobs that didn't have anything to do with that? You think taking away their money, feeding their kids, and stopping them from going to work today is the right way to do it? No, I'd rather you sacrifice and instead of eat, McDonald's that day, go eat at a black-owned restaurant. Now, I'll never be with the point of but that's just, it's not doing anything. Look,
it did a lot. You know what it did?
It did it.
You know what
it did?
If that didn't happen, all those news cameras would come to Baltimore. If that didn't happen, all they did was go to Baltimore and make them look even crazier than. No, it did not. It exposed the consistent oppression.
It exposed nothing. It made it look like we don't know how to act and really stand up for ourselves in the right way.
Bro,
I mean, like I said, we're gonna have different opinions.
We made for a long time. It may take you a minute to wake up. But you do me this favor. You gotta look up our history, bro. You gotta look up our history and look up the word revolt.
I mean, alright, so let me just keep it 100 with you. Alright, revolt. You guys, everyone, all of a sudden, now everyone wants to revolt. Now everyone's fed up, right?
Who cares when it happens, bro?
Okay, it's been happening we've been getting choked and shot for a long time.
So how long do you been over your back?
What do you mean? Now, all my protest is living the correct way. You know what I do? I stay out of the streets. I stay out of trouble. I've been through the system, bro. I just came up from jail. All right, so you understand.
I got 3 felons, 2.5 years in prison.
All right, so the same amount of time. So our protest isn't to go out there and commit another crime to make a change. Our protest is to come home, do the right thing, and let people know, no matter what, as much as they're trying to stop us and be in our way, we will continue to do the right thing. And I will teach my kids that, and I will breed that.
And everybody has a different role to play. See, you call that not doing the right thing because you're not understanding you gotta understand the severe oppression of those people. I've been there for weeks on the front line.
So you was looting and doing all that.
I was there the morning after. I'm not saying that it was right?
Right. So that's all I'm saying.
Like, but what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to tell you, young bro, sometimes it's necessary.
If it's necessary, if you think that's gonna make a change, why you ain't burn nothing in Jersey? Why no one burn no building? You should be burning a building right now. If that's how you feel, and you think this is the right way.
No, what I'm doing right now is I'm organizing my people to be able to defend themselves.
My thing is why you said it's not that stupid, right? It's not a bad decision. So why you don't go burn nothing down? I mean, everyone out here be so with it, but don't no one break nothing. So then do it. Go. So start moving out here. It's not only in Baltimore. We're not only getting impressed out there.
So I'm doing something better.
All right. So if you know there's a better way, you can't promote that way too.
I didn't say I was promoting it. What I'm saying is that you instituted.
You're trying to okay.
No. What I'm saying is that it was necessary for that moment. That was.
So just for that moment, it was necessary. You don't think we should? You don't
Bro,
think that?
Just like Watts, just like Compton with Rodney King.
So that was necessary. So you think you felt a big change since then? Since they did that, have you felt a change?
Sometimes it's compound interest.
I'm just saying. Have you felt a change?
Yes. Since Rodney King?
No, I'm talking about since they just burned since that whole shit in Baltimore. What change has come?
What change has come? I'm about to tell you. I know tomorrow I'm in Baltimore meeting with the heads of the Blood, heads of the Crips, and the Black Panther Party, and they're all unifying around defending our country and making sure if something else happens, we're more organized and a riot and looting doesn't happen, but we can use our civil protest to disrupt whatever we want to disrupt.
So you're saying they had to stoop to that level of destroying businesses.
Why do you want to keep saying stoop? Stop.
Because
you weren't out there.
I wasn't out there.
So stop using what they see in the media to degrade what your people in the front line are doing.
I'm not degrading anything they're doing. I just think they're uneducated. Just like you're doing right now. You say you're going to meet, unify.
Right.
If they were educated, we would do that from the door. That would be so much more of a protest than us having to go through what we went through to do that. You don't need to.
And tell me why the right, which is all part of our process. But why our people haven't been educated, haven't been doing that much? You know why?
Why?
Because for 300 years we weren't allowed to read or write or be educated.
Okay, but now we can. So our people should be educating our people.
But it doesn't happen overnight, homie.
No, you're right.
So we can't look down.
I can't. I'm gonna get fired, bro. I can't do this with you.
All right. Peace, though, kid. But I want you, don't look down on our people that's standing up for our people. So, as I'm eating soul food from a good black business here in New Jersey, Delta's, I got in a little passionate discussion with a young brother who made a comment about the revolt or revolution in Baltimore and wouldn't hear anything else other than those people were, I forgot the exact word he used, but have stooped down, right? So the people that revolted in Baltimore and burnt buildings and created all this noise that made world attention towards the oppression of people in Baltimore and the murder of Freddie Gray, one of their community members and brothers and sisters. The brother didn't want to hear anything about that being any bit justified. And I want to say to black people, I'm not saying that looting's okay. I'm not saying that rioting is okay. What I am saying is that if an oppressed people is being burdened down by an authority, then one, the definition of a revolt is the uprise against authority. And sometimes in the uprise, there is collateral damage. Two, our forefather, Martin Luther King, said, oppression is a language of the unheard. Rioting is the language of the unheard, and rioting is the language of the oppressed. So, when riots happen, like the Rodney King, or in Ferguson, or Watts, or in Norton, tons of riots throughout our history here in America as black people, because we're always raising hell when things get just too bad. I mean, where it's bad enough, we're quiet when we're already oppressed on the low, but when it gets too blatant, we sometimes rise up and revolt. But my message in this video is, as a black person especially, think about how you're thinking. Before you down other black people, think about, one, their side, their loss, their grief, but two, think about what would Malcolm think, our forefather, someone that fought for our rights and independence. What would Malcolm think? So before you think how Patrick Henry would think, or Thomas Jefferson, or George Washington, the forefathers of America, who all owned your ancestors, who all had slaves, who all had their way with our community's women or children or men or whatever they want to do, before you think of the mind frame as the oppressor's forefathers, right? I'm not talking about white people, I'm talking about the government. Before you think about the government and think of a mind frame of their standpoint, think about your own people and think, well, what would your forefather, what would Malcolm think? Ask yourself that. Before you get into the debate, say, what would Malcolm say? What would Malcolm think about my comment right now? And for you to be a young black man and to put down other young black men and women who stood up for themselves and stood up for the death of someone in their community, for you to put them down is flat out wrong. And you're thinking backwards. You're thinking like Patrick Henry instead of Martin Luther King. You're thinking like George Washington instead of Malcolm X. You're thinking like Thomas Jefferson instead of Marcus Garvey. You're thinking with the wrong mind frame, young brother. That goes for any of us that don't understand our community, understand our oppression, our political oppression, understand our economic exploitation, or understand our social degradation. And if you're not up on that, just get with the movement. YMC. It's game. It's fact disclosure. It's not that I'm angry or mad, but I gotta put our people on to our true history and what's really going on in the community, what we need to do about it, and shed light to the world about what's going on in our community, and ask everyone for their assistance in ending our oppression. But it still starts within. Any people that want to free themselves or become unoppressed, it starts within that own community. We can't ask someone else to come in and save us from what's going on within our community. But also in our community, we can't be thinking backwards. You can't think like the other side, and not saying white people. You can't think like the government who's been oppressive to your people. Don't think about them and their loss or the collateral damage that is caused during the sacrifice of the revolution. Some lives may get lost, some blood may get shed. Freddie Gray lost his life as really a sacrifice to bring attention to our oppression and start this revolution. Same with Mike Brown, same with Eric Garner, same with Oscar Grant, same with Kendrick Johnson, same with Alfred Wright, and Tamir Rice and everyone else. So just think right, don't think backwards, right? So if you're black, you might want to try thinking black. Think like a black person, and don't think like the people that colonized you and oppressed your ancestors. Don't think like the oppressor. Don't think like the colonizer. I understand we've been here a long time, and we have the ways in which the people that captured us, in which we've been habitually under this system for several hundred years now, 500 years now. So I get it, it's hard, but wake up and think black, think right, and think about your people before you down your people, most importantly. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. Again, rioting's wrong, looting is wrong. So is killing someone by breaking their spine. And so is covering it up. And so is choking someone out. And wrongs are wrongs, right? There are all kinds of wrongs. Oppressing a whole people for 450, 500 years is wrong. Enslaving a whole people and doing nothing about it, as far as restitution or reparations or reconciliation, is wrong. So it's a bunch of wrongs. So let's deal with it all, but think about your people before you down your people. That's the whole point. And that's YMC, Big Homie Talk, new role models. Peace.